Ernest, thank you so much for joining us. As we mentioned, it has been a very busy year for you in your own way. Let's start with the Victor family. Obviously we just heard from Blythe there. Darren Victor and his family, you've had a lot of involvement with their case. You met them in Poland and actually brought them back. So a year on, how are they settling into life in Gibraltar?
Well, Darren has settled in very well, and Natasha and the two kids, Sky and Eric. They are both in school now. Darren has found employment and he settled in Gib. And I'd like to say a big shout out to Blythe as well. We've been in contact. We met when he came over to Gibraltar. But at the beginning, we tried to get him out, but it was very unsafe for him to get him out at the beginning. So he decided to remain there with his family, and that was a good decision because his town was not bombarded and he might have risked his life doing so.
We have some shots of Darren Victor as he made his journey back to Gibraltar there. You also assisted with bringing a number of women and children over to Gibraltar through Civil Contingencies once again. So could you give us an update on how they are doing?
Oh, well, when the war started, we got approached by a local Gibraltarian who had businesses in Russia and in Ukraine, and he came through his lawyers and asked for help from the Gibraltar government. So we got in touch with him and another person who was also a businessman and had contacts in Ukraine and Belarus and Russia, and they managed to get in total there was about 5 different families. 5 families that came in. We settled them in the Europa Retreat Center. We managed to get the kids in school pretty quickly, gave him basic medical help through GHA cards, bus passes. And obviously I was the link man between the government and them, looking after the needs and day-to-day goods.
And so where are they now? Are they still in Gibraltar? Have some of them gone back to
Most of them have
countries?
left back, and what we heard in Blythe's interview, their home is Ukraine, their husbands are there. The dads, the children's dads were there. So when they could, things quieted down, and in the areas where the war's not really hot, they moved back. We still have one family here who are planning on going back pretty soon, but they're sorting out the paperwork.
So what happens after that? Do you sort of keep in contact at all? Is that the last you've heard from them?
No. I keep in contact with them I won't say daily, but weekly, and keeping tabs with them because they have become friends this year. I've had, as you know, we've had a number of visits up there and looking after them, so they have become friends, yes.
Absolutely. Now, what is Gibraltar doing at the moment? Are we still actively welcoming Ukrainians to safety on the road?
We're a small jurisdiction, so we have to be careful of opening the floodgates to everybody, but if they are running away from a war-torn city, shall we say, in Ukraine, and they shout out to us and they have a local connection and we can help them, we certainly are. But if they're already in a safe country and already got away from a war-torn area, they should look after them, the country where they've gone into.
Now, your work didn't quite stop there. You also did a lot of fundraising and brought medical supplies to the border with Ukraine. So tell us what that journey was like.
Well, when I came back from Poland, when we picked up Darren and his family, I was back at the office on a high, and my colleague Brian Brooks, we were both chatting and saying, what else can we do to help? And we thought of getting, clothes, toys and goods to send over or drive over. But then we shouted out to Ed Davis from the Red Cross, and he gave us the idea of contacting the Red Cross hospital there in Odessa, and because they already made a call for medical supplies. So Brian and I started fundraising, and we were very lucky and thankful for the support we got. And we got about approximately £90,000, and we did the trip back in May, accompanied by 4 others, Stephen, Alan, and Stuart, and it was a hell of an adventure and a very rewarding one too.
So looking back on all of that, you've been so much more involved than you might have ever expected. How does it feel on an emotional level even to say, it's been a year since this started?
Yes, the year's gone so quickly because we've been so busy with this and all the other issues that we usually do in civil contingencies, and still at the back of the hard work we did in COVID. But it's been a rewarding year for me, helping out people that need it.